Before we begin, I should mention that I'm trying something new for this video. In the past, I have sinned stuff like this.
You just need to go straight down this hallway until you get to the service kitchen.
Last time an underground tunnel was this convenient, the President of the United States was being kidnapped by Nicolas Cage.
Wasting delicious wine.
He carries the Charles Atlas seal of approval.
How can that be possible? Rocky has only just been born, and I don't see anybody from Charles Atlas Limited, established in 1929, present to award said seal. Yes, Charles Atlas is an actual company that is still running today. No, you should not Google it.
The reason being is that these don't add anything to the video and shouldn't be sins. But in hindsight, sinning every single time this happens makes the videos kinda boring and really repetitive. So in this video, every sin that can be considered a joke, and only a joke, will not be addressed. We'll see if this becomes the norm.
I saw this one.
Said no kid ever.
Some might think you've never been a kid. You have no idea how painful it was to rewatch the same episode of Gravity Falls multiple times while waiting for the new one.
They have their own cartoon, dolls, and cereal. Maybe it's the company behind Good Guys that is the true evil. But damn, for the life of me, I can't figure out why something like this would be so popular. He's a nice kid? Who cares?
The appeal of the Good Guy dolls isn't that they're nice kids. Good guys are supposed to be your friend to the end.
I have no friends. No one will play with me. Uh-oh. There's a friend in me. Hey, cheer up. Who are you? I'm a good guy. I've just come from the Good Guy Clubhouse. And I'll be your friend to the end.
Similar to the My Buddy doll, which was the direct inspiration for Chucky.
Is this toaster broken, or is this movie so old that toasters didn't automatically pop up the toast when it was done? Either way, f*** that noise.
Neither. Andy simply put the toast in for too long, causing it to burn. You can do this by turning the dial, and or slider, and or button, and or whatever toaster mechanism you have all the way up.
Wow.
Child acting.
Or just real life. Also, Andy's reaction happens before the bit with the toaster, and you decided to sin it afterward?
Wow.
Every good guy has a name all his own, so he can be your very own best friend. So remember to tell Mom and Dad you want a good guy.
I know this is incredibly nitpicky, but still.
You know that doll that you wanted for Andy? There's a peddler in the alley behind the store.
You know those two completely unrelated stories that began the movie? Let's tie those up right now. Also, there's a peddler in the alley behind the store? How did you even find him? What the hell were you doing back there, you little tramp?
I don't know, she could have been out on a smoke break or going for a walk, or the peddler could have approached her when she arrived at the building. Either way, why do you need to know how the peddler met Aunt Maggie? It's not like it's some kind of impossible thing to happen. It is really f***ing hot in the room I'm recording in.
However, this doll got out of the store and into the hands of the street peddler. Who is the person that put it back in the box? Are you suggesting someone came along and found the mess in the toy store and wisely decided to discard the bloody floor doll, but before doing so took the time to repackage it?
In the scene where Charles Lee Ray transfers his soul into the doll, there's a million other boxes around him. The peddler likely just put the doll in one of those boxes. I say that it's one of those boxes because the box that Chucky came in has a bloodstain on it. As to why he repackaged the doll looks more authentic if it's in a box.
Are you happy with your job here?
Guy who runs a department store has the balls to ask one of his employees this question.
You think it takes balls for a snobby boss to talk down to his employees?
Given what we're about to see Chucky do in this movie, why does he even bother with the Buzz Lightyear charade of acting like a toy for so long? Hell, why did he even let himself get sold by a street peddler as a toy in the first place? Why not just go be evil and shit?
He still wants to be evil and shit. He just also wants to live under a roof without any suspicion.
Also, how lucky is the murderer dude that he chose the most popular doll in the world to leap into? I mean, he'd have been stuck on the toy store shelves for years if he'd happened to put his spirit inside a kitty carryall.
Yes, what are the odds that out of all the dolls in the store, Charles Lee Ray chose one of the most popular ones? It's not like there's hundreds of them.
I told you she'd be mad at you if you watched the news.
Welcome to hell, Chucky. Also, we're supposed to believe that this is the spirit of Charles Lee Ray in this doll. I know he's crazy, but why did he think he was going to get away with turning on the TV without someone's fake aunt getting pissed off?
Chucky doesn't care if he gets caught. He just wanted to watch the news so he could figure out the status of Eddie Caputo, the getaway driver that left him behind.
Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Terry. In other news, police have now clarified the information regarding the escape of Eddie Caputo. Authorities say that Caputo managed to elude his captors while being transferred onto a prison bus on his way to court.
No one who cops for a living stops this chick or even remotely notices her.
These two guys notice her. I mean, it's weird that that's the only reaction she got, but still.
Why didn't Chucky just go ahead and kill Andy while he was at it? Does he have some sort of morals clause in the pact he signed with the devil?
Chucky only kills people who are either a problem to him or deserve to die, in his eyes.
Oh, God, I'm dying.
You hear that, you son of a bitch? I'm gonna get you for it! I'm gonna get you! And I'm gonna get Eddie! No matter what!
He said that Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
Andy is neither of those.
Also, Chucky climbed out of the bed, killed the babysitter, then got back into the bed with the kid and carried on pretending to be a doll? Why not escape right after killing her and go after his accomplice, especially since half this movie he wanders around out in the open and gets everywhere he needs to go without one asshole seeing him?
Chucky doesn't want to leave. He wants to continue being a serial killer while still having a roof over his head. And Chucky plans on killing Eddie in the morning because, as far as he knows, he's not under a time crunch, and killing him tonight won't be any different from killing him tomorrow.
Yes, this kid has a wagon, a minicar, and a whole train set. Why did his mom believe she needed to buy his love with a Chucky doll again?
Kids can be ungrateful. By the way, there are some parts of this video recorded with an actual mic, and some with just my camcorder mic. Please tell me which one is better.
You got on your feet.
Didn't you say you already checked the kid's shoes?
They didn't check the shoes he was wearing.
I don't know. What would Andy be doing up on the counter, right? Besides, I already checked his closet. None of his shoes match these prints.
Good guy PJ sneakers.
This company is a monster. They sell shoes for sleeping.
Jeremy, sleep shoes, or slippers, are sold by companies in real life.
He said that Maggie was a real bitch and got what she deserved.
Man, the ad clearly stated that this doll only says 3 things. What a vulgar and very specific phrase to put in a mass-produced doll like this.
I'm not sitting this, but does anyone else think that Jeremy stole this joke from Child's Play 3?
Who the fuck are you?
I thought you guys only said 3 sentences.
I'm new and improved.
You know perfectly well that you're making this up.
Movie wants us to sympathize with the kid who is telling the truth, but honestly, can anyone fault the mom for taking this hardline stance? I know I can't.
The movie doesn't want you to sympathize with one of them over the other. Karen and Andy are just acting the way they would in this situation.
Do you want to sleep in with me tonight?
Honestly, at this point, you don't think the doll did the killing, but you're pretty sure your kid has multiple personalities and probably murdered your best friend without even thinking. If I'm a mother, I'm not sleeping next to this kid unless I'm Norman Bates' mom.
Karen doesn't want to think Aunt Maggie was murdered. She's willing to accept that it was simply an accident and that the footprints are just a coincidence.
How did this kid get on the subway by himself? Does he already have tokens from a mother that is obviously too protective to give him tokens for solo subway rides? Did he have cash on him?
Chucky likely told Andy to steal money and or train tickets from Karen. Also, where are you getting the idea that Karen is an overprotective mother? You just made that up. Sure, later Karen becomes slightly overprotective, but that's because a doll tried to put his soul inside of her son.
Be right there, Chucky.
So the kid leaves the doll to go tinkle, and that's the moment this guy decides to escape? As opposed to when this kid was asleep the night before? Or when the grungy street peddler was sleeping back before he was sold? Can he not just walk in the cover of night and go mostly unnoticed?
Chucky isn't trying to escape. He's just trying to kill everyone who he doesn't like. Living with the Barkleys doesn't hinder this goal in any way.
If you hear a noise, then fire wildly at it. This is what successful killers do.
Eddie isn't thinking straight. He's incredibly paranoid due to the police looking for him.
Back to you, Steve.
Thank you, Terry. In other news, police have now clarified the information regarding the escape of Eddie Caputo. Authorities say that Caputo managed to elude his captors while being transferred onto a prison bus on his way to court.
Gunshots? That must be Chucky. Let's run towards that.
Most people don't actually know what gunshots sound like in real life. especially 6-year-old children.
Wait, why did Chucky willingly go back to the custody of stupid humans after killing his accomplice and being scot-free?
Again, Chucky isn't trying to escape. He's trying to kill everyone who wronged him and still have a roof over his head.
Wait, how the f*** did Andy not only survive the explosion, but also manage to find the Chucky doll in the aftermath?
Oh, you don't have to find Chucky. He'll find you.
And why did Chucky wait around after turning the gas on instead of just getting out of there?
Because, again, Chucky doesn't want to escape.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Huge child-sized doll manages to roll underneath what has to be the Arc de Triomphe of couches. Also, why bother letting your secret out now? You could still make them wonder if there's a defect of some sort by not saying anything.
What defect would cause a toy to operate without the required batteries?
It's truly frightening that a doll has come to life and appears to have bloodlust. However, in a fight, he's still just a doll, right? He's got arms filled with asbestos and fiberglass, not real muscles.
First of all, most people would be in shock and horror while having to fight a killer doll, making their strength not as reliable at first. Second, Chucky does have actual muscles at this point in the movie.
I didn't think anybody could hurt me. But last night I got shot. You know something? It hurt. It hurt like a son of a bitch. It even bled. Now, why is that, John?
You're turning human.
What?
The more time you spend in that body, the more human you become.
Then, when she does throw him, easily, mind you, she decides to throw him over the couch instead of into the already raging fire.
Karen wasn't thinking straight at that moment due to the surprise and fear in her head. This caused her to act rapidly without thought.
I bought him from a peddler where I work. I'll start there.
That is the stupidest plan ever. I'm not sure I even want to waste any more words on how stupid that plan is. Yeah, no, I don't.
Why is that a bad plan? Karen doesn't know that Chucky is Charles Lee Ray at this point. All she knows is that he's alive. Asking the peddler where the doll came from is a great place to start, especially considering the fact that Karen has no other way of finding Chucky.
Movie teaches us that if you look around for any homeless person in Chicago, you can find him quickly.
You cut out the bit where you see Karen searching for the peddler by asking people where he is.
Movie teaches us that if you look around for any woman with a huge head start who's looking for any homeless person in Chicago, you can find them ex machina style.
Technically, this isn't an ex machina. For it to be an ex machina, Detective Mike Norris would have to have not existed at all before this moment.
Chucky either waited until now for no good reason to try and kill Mike, or he really thought Mike would be at the police station at this hour and snuck into the car while he got the Charles Lee Ray file. Either way, it's simple as shit.
Chucky was waiting for Mike to be alone. Also, the fact that Mike stopped at the police station has nothing to do with Chucky's decision to attack.
Also, after all this time, Chucky decides to use some sort of tubing to choke Mike instead of using the knife he clearly has later in the same scene.
Chucky doesn't want to kill Mike immediately. He wants to relish this moment. After all,
I was the man who killed him.
Have you thought about maybe stopping the car at this point? Driving the car doesn't give you a life-saving advantage over stopping the car, right?
He's waiting for the right time to stop the car so no one will get hurt. Trust me, stopping a car in a busy street is not a good idea. Also, he tries to stop the car at one point, but Chucky keeps it going.
This unnecessary scary scene is brought to you by I could have done this earlier, but we needed to manufacture suspense, a subsidiary of Ronco.
Chucky wants to scare Mike before killing him, aka playing with his food.
After being shot once, which doesn't hurt him, and at a point when the cop can't have very many bullets left in that gun, Chucky decides to stop his murder revenge pursuit and go for coffee.
Actually, it's because the gunshot hurt him, causing him to fear the possibility of death.
I didn't think anybody could hurt me. But last night I got shot. You know something? It hurt. It hurt like a son of a bitch. It even bled.
After I talked to you last night, I decided to go back to the station and pull Ray's file.
And also, Chucky attacked me in my car, so now I know he's real, but I'm not going to tell you that for some reason.
He tells her that almost immediately after this.
Now all we have to do is find him before Chucky does. We spent a lot of time with this man.
So I decided to come track you down at this worthless place first, before going over there, and then escort you to that place that might be dangerous later.
Worthless? This is Charles Lee Ray's apartment, as far as they know.
Where did Charles Lee Ray live?
Look, please, will you just get out of the car?
Hey, just tell me where he lived. Don't you understand? Andy's life depends on it.
7:30, Stony Island, the south side. But I've already checked the place out. There's nothing there. Now, good night.
You know, I thought something like this might happen.
Dr. Death has his own voodoo doll lying around the house. Why would you have your own voodoo doll?
Creating a voodoo doll of yourself can fend off bad hexes and attract good hexes.
Sure, civilian. Just go right to the place where the killer doll might be. I'll hang back.
I will say, the movie cliche of civilians just tagging along with a police officer on a dangerous mission doesn't make much sense. However, Detective Mike Norris does not stay behind.
Random noise outside. Must be Chucky.
Just because Andy went to investigate a noise doesn't mean that he already knew what the noise was.
Slowest stabbing ever.
Chucky doesn't want to stab Andy. He wants to put his soul in him.